All right, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the Brent Mukai podcast. It's me, Brent Mukai, voice actor, improv trainer, entertainer. How's it going with you? I am feeling I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's sickness? I'm just feeling lethargic today. Like I'm feeling a bit, I don't know. I'm feeling a bit lethargic. Don't know what it is. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep this week. Maybe that's it. Maybe a bunch of things. But it's been good. It's been a good time lately. And last weekend was fucking just amazing. Okay. Let me lay you the groundwork here, everybody. Let me lay you some groundwork. Last weekend signed up for a voiceover convention in town called WovoCon, World Voices Convention, basically. And there's just a lot of really weird serendipity that's kind of been wrapped up into the weekend, but it was one of the founders of WovoCon is a good buddy of mine named Dustin Ebaugh, and he is the first guy I sat down and chatted with. He was the first voice actor I met in Las Vegas. So what about Dustin? I had found out from a buddy of mine that I did comedy with that I was the first comedy. So I met a guy from LA at a comedy show. He went up for his first time, and I was there for it. We kept in touch, kept in contact, and the dude basically put me in contact with Dustin Ebaugh, and also told me about the Voice Actors Studio. So being, I don't know how old I was. I think it was 26 at the time, 25. It must have been 25. I was in the comedy world, and I was skeptical. So I said, you know what? I looked up the Voice Actors Studio, and I said, this is a good amount of money to pay for some classes. Like, if it's worth it, that would be cool. I'm gonna ask this Dustin guy about the studio, and I'll bring it up at some point during our talk and see what he says. So I sit down, I take him to breakfast. I hit him up, first of all. I hit him up and just say, hey, man, you don't know me. I worked with this guy that worked with you, and he gave me your information. I'd love to sit down, eat breakfast with you, and just ask you about this. I come from the comedy world. I'm super interested in voiceover. So I do it, and he says yes. He says yes. He's more than happy. He's very kind. We sit down. I take him to Eggworks over in Henderson, great breakfast joint, and we just sit and fucking talk. And I tell him I'm interested, and before I can even bring up the Voice Actors Studio, he's like, you know where you need to check out? You need to go to the Voice Actors Studio. You need to fucking go there. The best place in town. And I will never forget what he said. He was like, if you live in Las Vegas, it's the best place to go to. If you live in Buffalo, New York, then your best place to go to is to move to Las Vegas so you can go here. He's just like, it's the best. It's the absolute best. So, right, I that night I sign up for my first class at the Voice Actors Studio, and the rest is history. The rest is history. I'm now a teacher there. I'm now an instructor there. I'm teaching voice acting. I'm teaching improv. I'm teaching, all of these wonderful classes that they allow me to teach there. And some of my best friends, people that I consider family now, mentors of mine that are now I consider family are dude, it's. Anyway, Dustin was one of the founders of this thing called WovoCon. He was one of the founders of the World Voices organization, and it was a fun time. It was really cool. It was a nice convention. Me and Dustin got to sit outside. We got to chill. This was his first year. He had stopped being one of the guys last year, and this was his first year, and he told me like it was his first year where he didn't have to run shit. He could just enjoy the con. And it was nice, and it was cool, and Dustin's a good fucking guy. And yeah, I mean, here's the big news from the convention. Here's where I'm getting at. That weird bit of serendipity was kind of cool to be like, wow, full circle. We sat outside, and I was like, remember when I took you to breakfast, dude? When I took you to breakfast like 3 years ago or whatever, and I'm seriously, I can't. It's so weird. It's so weird to think of that, but like that's how shit works, you know. That's how dreams work. You put your shit to action. You figure out what you want, and then you just fucking go for it. And I did that, and now I'm here, and I was sitting with him, and it was just surreal. Anyways, this is just gonna be a whole big episode, I guess, of fucking of all of these crazy fucking stories. But anyways, the highlight of the weekend, happened on Friday, because I went to a class by a man named Bob Bergen. I think I talked about this last week. I think I said like how excited I was to take the class. He is the voice of Porky Pig. He's in everything. Let's go through it. Let's go through the fucking list, huh? Let me bring up IMDb, and let me just for a second, just give you an idea of how badass this motherfucker is. Like, he is one. I can't. It's hard for me to even. Man, let's see. He's in all of the Looney Tunes stuff. He was in Emoji Movie. He was in Despicable Me 3. He was in Deep, Smurfs, Last Man Sing, Trip Tank, The Secret Life of Pets, Mr. Pickles, Skylanders, Clarence, Minions, Inside Out, TP, Star Wars, Avengers Assembly, Infamous Farlight, The Clone Wars, Dead Time Stories, Mickey Mouse, Get a Horse, Monsters University, Escape from the Earth, the Garfield movie, Wreck-It Ralph, the Lorax. Just credit after fucking credit. Tangled, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Up, Star Wars Robot Chicken, Ponyo, WALL-E. Let's see, Surf's Up, Lunatics Unleashed. How do you even, and I mean, dude, he was one of the Gremlins. He's one of the freaking Gremlins. He was the Gremlins. I believe he was all of the Gremlins from that hit movie, Gremlins. Remember that? And I took a class with this dude, and he, like, I let me rewind back. 2014, right? 2014, and I am doing comedy. I'm kind of in the midst of all of this stuff, and I watched this documentary that I instantly love called I Know That Voice. And it's a documentary about voice actors, and I think I talked about this. I saw him talk about his class. I stupidly thought that I needed to become some famous person and then go into voice acting and becoming cartoons and all that stuff. I didn't think that there were classes. Stupidly, I just didn't think about it, because you go watch Inside Out, and it's not Anna Faris. God, what's her name from Parks and Rec? Oh, I'm such an idiot. Amy Poehler, and it's a whole cast of stars, of famous people. So it was so crazy and so weird to know that was the inception, the first thought I had of kind of getting into voiceover. Like, I was like, oh, there's classes, and this guy named Bob Bergen teaches classes in LA, And I was like, it must all be in LA. There's no way that there's something like that here in Vegas. But if I had just checked, right? If I'd have just been smart enough to check. But anyways, I go to this class and I get to meet the man that pretty much was the inception of the idea of me getting into voiceover, like of voice acting. This is like a dream come true. This is like the fruition, the full circle, if you will, of the entirety of everything, of my career path and my goals right now and what I want to do and achieve. And I mean, how do I even describe it? It was awesome. It was awesome to sit there and just fucking take it in and listen. But it was even better to go up and perform a piece of copy, a piece of work, and to get critiqued and to get, to basically get, you know, get a chance to perform in front of a fucking living legend. In front of a living legend, a man who I admire a lot. And I was nervous. I was nervous as fuck, but I know how to deal with nerves. I know how to deal with it all. And I know what to do. Like, the second I stood up, I knew where I wanted to take it. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I was going to play. And I just played. And he pushed me. He pushed me hard to see how much I could do, like what I could do. I'm like, in the moment, I was like, oh, I maybe I just didn't push it hard enough. I didn't go over the top. Now that I'm looking back at it, he pushed me for more energy. And I don't think that it was because I didn't give enough energy. I think it's because he wanted to see if there was a cap to how much energy I had. So when he said, I basically gave a lot. And then he was like, that's a 3. I want a 10. So I blew the fucking roof off, and I gave him the entirety of crazy energy, like I'm screaming and everything. Because if somebody says, that was a 3, give me a 10, and I was already at a lot of energy, like, that's all you can do. That's all you can fucking do. So I in the moment, I didn't even think of it as like, oh, he's prodding me and testing me to see where I can go. Anyway, I just felt good, and everything he talked about was things that I've thought about. Like, every technique, everything that he was saying was shit that I look at and how I break down scripts already. It's stuff that I've come, and it's not like his was the first animation class I've taken. You know what I mean? Like, so I've had a lot of other teachers tell me similar things. It was just like, wow, like the shit that he's telling me to do is shit that I already know how to do. Like, great gems, don't get me wrong. It's not like I sat there and was like, I know every fucking thing he's gonna say it. I knew it. I knew a lot of it and felt it, but there was a shit ton of gems and gold that he was given that I could not believe that I was fucking getting. And it was just this full circle moment. That was kind of the whole fucking theme, right? It was full circle. And so I'm fucking, after the class is over, I go up and everybody's asking for a picture because that, you know, he's a legend. He's a fucking legend. And I would like to say that I played it cool and didn't ask him for a picture, but I did. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it later on. You'll be able to see it. I don't know. It's just been such a weird, busy week that I haven't posted. I keep getting halfway through the story of how much this man means to me, and then I get distracted by something else, and I don't end up posting. But I'll post the picture. And man, like, I go up and I ask him for a picture, and I tell him the story. I tell him a very condensed story about how I saw him on I Know That Voice, how he changed the course of my life in that way, how as soon as I saw him, I wrote down on an index card and put it up on my wall, take a Bob Bergen class. And he was very generous, very kind, and he looked at me and he said, "You're very good. You're really good." And my immediate response, the Asian response, you know, is, "Oh, thank you so much. I you know, I super appreciate it. Thank you." Because, you know, I'm sure he says this to a lot of people. There's a ton of people. He's a teacher, you know, he's going on the road and stuff. And he looks me in the eye and he says, "No, I don't compliment. You're really good. And, I mean, it's been a dream of mine to be a fucking cartoon character since I was a kid. Like, that's all I wanted. Like, it's crazy to think that. And it's like weird to think that I went through my life being drawn to high energy cartoons and to comedy, and the two are so intertwined. And it's almost like I, by accident, chose a path that would give me a good opportunity to get into animation. He said flat out, he said improv is the best tool in an actor's toolkit. He said it is by far the most important thing you can do, or the most important thing you can learn if you want to do animation. And I was like, wow, well, that's pretty cool that I'm doing it and have been doing it for so fucking long, and that I love that. And so that, and that all of those things translate directly over to what people are telling me now. So that moment has literally kept me afloat. Like, I feel like I'm in another fucking dimension since he told me that. Like, I can't even describe it. It's just, they say don't meet your heroes, but every time that I meet one of my heroes, I fucking end up loving it. And my hero, I've been very lucky with the heroes that I choose, because they've given me something. They've all fucking been very kind and very generous people, and I think maybe that's a part of why they're my heroes also. Like, I think I've always been drawn to kind and generous people, and he was one of them. He didn't have to say that. And he definitely didn't have to fucking say that, but he did, and I can't believe it. Like, man, I'm on the right track, people. I'm on the right track, you Mukakis. You fucking Mukes. You Brentlemen, ladies and Brentlemen. You League of Extraordinary Brentlemen. I forgot. It's still new. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I forgot about the names of listeners to the podcast. You listeners of the Brent Mukai podcast. You sweet Mukai juice. You fucking Mukuleles, right? I got caught up because I knew I wanted to talk about this, so I forgot all about it in the beginning. I promise it's my first and last time forgetting to call you all the fun names. But yeah. So I did that. Had a magical fucking weekend. I also went and one of my friends from here, another full-time voice actress by the name of Shelly, invited me up to this small kind of party that was going on with some people that were actually very legit fucking people in the industry. I don't want to call anyone out by name, but I'm Hollywood and big in Europe and all of these fucking places. And she pulls me aside and she's like, "Come with me." And I'm like, "Okay, cool," because I know that she knows a lot of fucking people. So we get up to and this is where it really got all full circle for me, and it really fucking hit home for me. I'm up in the Cosmopolitan in a suite overlooking the fucking Strip. And for those of you who don't know, the Cosmopolitan is right next to the Bellagio, and I'm watching the Bellagio fountains, right? And we're up on like the 20th floor, the 18th floor or something. And I look down, and we're watching the Bellagio fountains, and I look over to my right, and I point. I point, and I look at Shelly, and I point to this little spot, and I say, "You see that? You see that little that restaurant over there, Cabo Wabo? That above it, there's that little space." And she's like, "Yeah, I can see it." And I say, That's the place where I fucking that is the theater, that is the spot where I did the improv, where I did that year's worth of improv at Planet Hollywood. And every night after we were done with the shows, we'd look out and watch the Bellagio fountains and wonder how things could get any better. And flash forward 5 years, 6 years, and here I am at the fucking Cosmopolitan, just being told by the master himself, one of the masters of cartoon voice acting, that I'm really fucking good, and I'm just feeling amazing on this top floor, looking down at the fucking place that I used to perform at. The place that I thought was like the golden ticket, the bridge, the whole, or the bridge. The fuck did I mean by that? I thought was the shining Acropolis, right? The shining metropolis. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. I thought that it was the gold standard being there, and that it was like the coolest. And here I am, having accomplished all of these things now on my own, doing just this, just doing what I fucking love, and I don't know. It all comes full circle, you know? Like every single thing. And it's just gotten me so excited about where I'm heading and what I'm going to do and what's in store, you know? What's in store? Where is my life heading? It's heading to somewhere good. Here's the I don't know, the cliff notes or whatever notes you want to call it. Fucking rest of the weekend goes well. I get a chance to work with another dude who's a big time animation coach out in LA. He says, "You can do this work." And I'm like, I'm not cocky. I'm like, "Thank you." He's like, are you doing this? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing some work. Yeah, I'm doing this." He's like, "It shows." Another reaffirming great, awesome moment of the weekend. And it's just a fun weekend. I get to meet a shit ton of people. I get to meet some agents over a Skype call. So everybody, I think, had been hoping that they were coming in, but it was just a Skype call. So I go into the Skype call. They're answering questions. They're talking about agencies and whatnot. And I walk up and I ask a question about how to stand out. And as they're answering, I'm bantering. We're having a little fun. And I fucking, after they're done answering, I say, "Okay, perfect. Quick selfie with the two of you on screen." And I click a selfie of us, of me and just a fucking computer screen. You can barely even make out their faces, but I got it. And I had the intention of posting it to social and just trying to stand out. Like, how meta is that I ask a question about standing out, and then my first thought is like, "Oh, I need to stand out even when I'm just talking to them, so I'll do that." So I posted it to social media, fucking tagged both these agents. One of them added me on Facebook, and I'm just like, "Whoa, what? Fucking what, bro? I can't believe it. I've been watching a lot of Big Mouth recently. I can do a pretty good Coach Steve. "Yeah, Coach Steve is my name." Anyway, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. And you'll probably, and I'm just being random now. Anyways, he adds me on Facebook. I add him back. This was yesterday, and I send him my info and all that stuff through his website. All of the shit. I'm trying to get an agent now. Like, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. I don't have an agent right now. Like, the whole, like, just for a bit of business talk, I guess. I have been getting all of my own work myself and been doing it non-union and, through combinations of different outlets, just been really fucking working hard and getting shit. So I've been making a living without an agent. Imagine how cool it would be with an agent. So, and not how cool it would be. I guess to break it down, you might be wondering why I would need an agent. I don't need an agent, but to get to the bigger jobs like national commercials, but more importantly, big time video games, big time animations. That's going to be through an agent. That's not something that's going to be posted on just somewhere or some place that I can just get onto a roster. At least as far as I know, like that's going to be for real, like an agent that I book through. So that's the next step for me. If I want to get to LA and I want to get into the animation business, like I need some credits, I think, or I want some credits, and I want to have some credits before I even move to LA. That's the next step. And the way I do that is to get an agent, audition like fucking crazy, and then through there just keep on going through my fucking day, and keep on going through my fucking life, and just working hard. Boy, oh boy. I mean, it's a phenomenal week. What more can I say? It was a phenomenal weekend, a phenomenal week. I just feel so invigorated, except for today. Today I just feel really tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. And this whole week I've been pounding the pavement trying to figure out and crack the egg on how to get more corporate work and corporate jobs. I won't go into more detail because it's a little boring, but your boy's been working. Your boy's been fucking working. I've just been doing shit, and I've been hanging out with one of my mentors this week, and we hung out at the weekend, and I shadowed him yesterday and got to watch his work and his progress and how he fucking does shit, and I just fucking feel good. Like, I'm tired as fuck right now. I have an improv show in like 3 hours. Jesus, I have an improv show in 3 hours. But yeah, I have an improv show in 3 hours. Get to perform some musical improv. And yeah, I mean, it's just been a good fucking week. So I think I'll leave it there. I think I'll leave it at that. I feel like thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with me, everybody. 'Cause like me just talking about this, like I was having a day today. I've not been feeling great today. But me being able to talk about this and share this and say these things, like it really fucking, I mean, dude, like it's really brought my spirits back up, and I want you to know that means something to me. So I did a rookie mistake and went through all my would you rathers with the pod therapy guys, which if you have not listened to the previous episode, please do. It's so good. It's so nice. It's so fun. They're so cool. And I mean, just honestly, I could not be any fucking happier, Could not be any fucking happier. So, because of that, let me go ahead and do my improvised commercial for you all. And please, across social media, send me ideas for improvised commercials, just shit that you want me to do. On top of which, send me would you rather questions. Would you rather do this or would you rather do this, so that I can have fun? It's one of my favorite fucking things. So if you could send me more of those, I love doing them. It brings me great joy. So let's see here. a while ago, here we go. I got a request by M.L. Kennedy to do a commercial for one of his books. And it was actually really funny because the first time that he had asked me about it, I said, "Oh, like it must be," because he said, "I have a suggestion for you on one of your podcast commercials, books." And I just said, "Okay." And I thought for a second he just meant a commercial for books in general, just like like books are struggling and let's talk about books. But I was wrong. He's actually a writer, and as we get closer and closer to Thanksgiving here, let me go ahead and plug his book, Thanksgiving for Werewolves and Other Monstrous Tales. Thanksgiving for Werewolves and Other Monstrous Tales, right? And let's it sounds really funny, but let's see. Here's an ad for a book. I'm trying to think of how to approach it, but I think with the title Thanksgiving for Werewolves, there's really only one way to do it. So let's do it. From the mind of M.L. Kennedy comes Thanksgiving for Werewolves and Other Monstrous Tales. Quirky and disturbing, Thanksgiving for Werewolves tells the story of an independent pro wrestler trying to survive against a restaurant full of powerful skinwalkers. This new collection by M.L. Kennedy, author of The Mosquito Song, also features such stories as Dinosaurs versus Cyborgs, Sally Says, Quinquisegmia, tried to be the Pied Piper, ended up a bridge troll, the award-winning flash fiction, I'll Be Right Back, and more. It's all kinetic, cracking with speed and motion and dialogue. Connor Coyne, author of The Shattering Glass and Hungry Rats. Fun and flirtatious, the next best book blog. So engrossing I missed my bus stop on 2 different occasions. Matt Yeager, author of Bedtime Stories for the Insomniac. It's so fucking good, my pants ripped open from the erection I had. Brent Mukai, about the author. M.L. Kennedy writes about the spooky interacting with the mundane. In 2011, he released a Rust Belt travelogue vampire novella called The Mosquito Song through Tiny Toe Press. He's currently in the midst of a project wherein he's writing 100 stories that are each 100 words long. Kennedy was born in Buffalo, New York, and currently lives in Chicago. Pick up your copy of Thanksgiving for Werewolves and Other Monstrous Tales wherever books are sold, but mostly on Amazon. Kindle Unlimited. That's right, bitch. Kindle Unlimited. Anybody still listening? Oh, man. That's stupid. That's really stupid. All right, everybody. That seems like a good place to end off. I don't want to drag this out. I mean, what else? What other thing could I say? I ruined this week's podcast because I started with the greatest, coolest thing, and everything else has just been me touching my wiener and fucking, kissing my wiener. So that's this week's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. All of you Mukkallattes, you Brentagrams, you crazy Brentagons, all of you good-looking, sharply dressed Brentlemen, you Mukakis, you Mukuleles, you Mukes, you Brent lovers. I don't fucking know. All of you, thank you for listening. Please, please, please send me your would you rathers. I love them. I cherish them. I want to use them on the podcast. It will help make this podcast more fun for me, and you'll be doing me a great service. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Nothing else that I want to fucking talk about this week. It's just been a cool week. So Have a great Thanksgiving, yeah. Thanksgiving will be next week. I won't see you till Friday. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. I love you all. Mwah. Did that sound a little more compassionate than usual? I usually just go, mwah. This one was a nice, I got up close and just, oh, you're looking good. Oh. I hope I haven't lost listeners because of that. Love y'all. I'll see you next time. Brent Mukai out, you sweet Mukakis.